This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
Mine's a very, very easy one. It was superimposed. It was an absolute champion to a lot of people, but to me particularly.
And so tell me what it was that really inspired you about him as a youngster, as a young man.
Well, I was not long out of school, and so it's a time of your life that shapes a lot of things, and I'd had a little bit of exposure to the racing industry before that, and I just really fell in love with his will to win, and he was a come-from-behind horse, and some of his Epsom and Doncaster wins were just outstanding, and you know, whether he's there winning over the Randwick Mile or fighting out a finish in a Melbourne Cup, he had a massive heart, and I loved him.
Yeah, and there's a great story. You actually came to be able to hone him for part of his life, and also you rode him off the track.
I did. So towards the back end of Super's life, he was living in Victoria, and the owner went down there, and on the day he happened to go down, it was miserable and cold and raining, and he was a Queenslander, and he was a client of Glenlogan Parks at the time. And he came back up, and it was a beautiful, warm winter day, and he thought, why don't I have this champion living up here? So he approached me about it and said, would I mind if superimposed, would I have a spot for him on the farm, which took about 0.1 of a second to say, absolutely. He's been my hero the whole way through. So he came to live on the farm, and he was my riding horse and companion for the last few years of his life, and he's buried on Glenlogan. It was a wonderful story for me, for the horse that actually really got me going to have him there at the end. It was very rewarding. I loved it.
A great story, and thanks to Arrowfield Stud for their continued support of Bred to Win in 2021. That is the show for this week. Don't miss our 2 one-hour Inglis Easter yearling sale previews coming up over the next 2 weeks, with literally the best of the best heading for the Riverside Stables Complex at Warwick Farm in Sydney on April 6 and 7. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Bred to Win brought to you by Inglis, the Inglis Easter Yearling Sale, Australia's best collection of yearlings, Riverside Stables, April 6 and 7.